Okay, so question from, actually, this is a super chat. Thank you, Jarek, in Australian dollars. Thank you. What is everyone's thoughts on the graph protocol? Okay, yeah. So we actually put out a code review on this on Token Metrics. Let me just pull this up here. But the tech is good. I mean, this is a pretty credible project from a tech perspective. So we think it has, I mean, as some people would say, fundamentals. But I haven't looked at the actual token sale information. Um, Maddie, have you, in terms of the graph?
I think I looked at it a while back. I didn't like
Yeah,
it.
yeah, because
There's probably a lot of lockups, probably a lot of float.
yeah.
There's a lot of amazing projects that are coming out right now that I think are great, but they literally just shoot themselves in the foot in terms of metrics. Or it's like them where I'm not sure if this is done specifically, but let's take PokeSwap for an example. A lot of people are very excited about PokeSwap, but they have like a 2-year lock, right?
Ooh,
They're only looking for people who
wow.
are going to come on for node validators and stuff like that.
Mhm.
Because I know a couple of people who are trying to get in there, and they're like, well, like it's bad when people are hitting you up and being like, "Yo, what value can you provide so I can go in as a bigger bigger entity?" And what it always comes down to, and this is something you'll find, is that VCs get kicked out, hedge funds get brought in, right? They're looking for a real capital on the outside. They want that broader vertical in terms of influence, and they're the ones who provide it. So, I'm seeing the same thing with big projects like in PokeSwap, et cetera. So that's why it's on our end, it's really
Wait, so
important
so
that
hedge funds are getting into the 2-year lockups?
yeah, I believe so. Yeah, so if you
Uh,
look at someone like Dragonfly Capital, for example, right,
mhm.
who's a partner of ours, they deploy a large sum of money, and they have traditional routes, like a lot of different infrastructure that these regular VCs like don't have. We're talking about like crypto VCs, right?
Yeah.
Everyone can call themselves a VC. They probably have at best maybe 4 million under management.
Mhm.
They're not like a big fund that has like 250 million like Dragonfly is and others. Even Cumberland's getting up there now. So there's a number of different funds that are bringing bigger firepower to the table. So it's a very saturated space with low cap raises, so they just get booted out right away. So it's
Yeah.
better to just like form those partnerships on the other end.
Let me see if I can find their token sale information. Token economics. I mean, so from a tech perspective, it's a great project, but kind of like our stance remains the same with all these new tokens. Wait until the FOMO has died down, and then look to accumulate if you like it long term.
Mhm.
If you're playing the whole pump and dump IEO or private sell game, only invest what you're willing to lose, right? So kind of like hey Maddie was showing with his spreadsheet. For those very super risky altcoins, he's putting in 2.5%, for example, right? So I would probably do something like that, maybe 1%, and look to acquire more long term. Let me see if I can find the token sale information here.
Yeah. When you're talking about token sales specifically, like I made a video in 2017 about the life cycle of a project, right? Talked about how the early stage was really marketing, branding, etc. Liquidity is king. Trying to stay as liquid as possible is the best vertical. If you do believe in something long term, and it's like going to be super big, then maybe you'd be willing to take a lockup. Like it's going to be like, I mean, it's going to change the space. Polkadot is a change the space thing. You have to wait a long time to get any sort of Polkadot related tokens. But if I saw something like that came along, I had an opportunity, I'd be willing to get locked up. Other than that, look at Compound, look at Band Protocol, look at all these higher risk assets that are doing big things. They've, as Bill showed you, had a massive sell off, right? You can wait for those moments in time; they're gonna come. You don't have to force yourself into something. If you're a true believer long term, imagine how many times, Ian, tell them, how many times could you have accumulated Chainlink over the years? Like
A lot.
multiple times. I invested in the ICO. You could
Yeah.
have bought it at like sub like $1.50 or lower in the bear market. So it became big once Coinbase listed it, and then it just went off, right? So if you believe in like long term vision or whatever, there's plenty of opportunity to accumulate. Even on Polkadot right now, there's opportunities to accumulate. Um, so yeah, non financial vision.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you for that. Okay. Share your comments.